Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. My name is Shirley Herring. I bring you greetings from There Is Hope Outreach Ministries. In a prior video, I had announced that we will be doing a new segment on life after loss, and I am the first one who's going to tell my story. My dad, my dad, Reverend Joseph Sessler Sr., he passed at 85 years old. He passed March 3rd, 2019. When I received the call from my mom that he was unresponsive, and then I received a text minutes later that he was gone. This is how it all began. 3 days prior to my dad passing, I felt something deep in my stomach. I just didn't know what it was. It was so deep, it was waking me up at night. And I would go into the bathroom and just stand in there. I'm like, God, I have to get to New Jersey. Lord, I have to get to New Jersey. I don't know what it is, God. But I have to get to New Jersey. And I kept saying that I have to check on my dad. Because prior to this, he's been experiencing like a little numbness in his fingers. But Dad, he always experienced a little numbness in his fingers. He was a diabetic, but it was very controlled. He had high blood pressure, but it was very controlled. So my dad, although he was 85, he didn't really have a lot of major, health problems. And everything that he did have, it was controlled. So he he was on my mind so much. And it was for 3 nights. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to schedule a trip and go on Wednesday. I'm going to go on Wednesday. I said, I'm going to take him to the doctor's because he was supposed to go to a doctor's appointment, but I believe he canceled it. My sister knows this story better than I do, but I believe he canceled the appointment and my sister was making him another appointment. You know how when they get old, when they don't, well, older, some, not everybody, when they don't want to do something, they're not going to do it. And if they know how to dial that number, beep, 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 and cancel their own appointment, they will. He just wasn't ready to go. He had just been to doctors in January of 2019. And he got a clean bill of health as far as his heart. Everything was looking good. Just a couple of minor things, but the doctor was on it. And it was nothing like wrong with his heart or anything, or everything was good with that. Okay, getting back to me feeling like I have to get to New Jersey. I have to get there. Something's wrong. And I was to the point where I was pleading, God, I don't know what it is, but I have to get to New Jersey. But I was trying to pace my time because I've been on the road so much, and I was trying to space my time out from traveling so much. So I made the point to go on Wednesday. And I said, I'm going to go right to the house and see mom and dad and we, try to schedule an appointment and, get him to the doctors. So Saturday night, I had a dream that my sister and I, Valerie, we were cleaning out daddy's room. And I didn't understand why, but we were gathering his clothes and we were just like giving them away. We were cleaning it out. I never saw death in this dream. I just saw that we were cleaning out his room. And like I said, I didn't understand why. This was Saturday. My dad had to slip away between after 12 midnight, Yeah, he passed on a Sunday, on that Sunday. So I had the dream Saturday night. He passed the next day. And when I, again, got the call from my mom, she was crying so much and saying, your dad is unresponsive. Your dad, I'm like, what? What? He's unresponsive. What's the matter? What's the matter? You know? And then I believe I called my brother-in-law Butch. I'm trying to remember stuff. And he said, Dad, he just not waking up. They're working on him now. And by that time, I'm like running up and down the stairs, getting my clothes, getting dressed and everything, because I know I had this dream. I know I was not comfortable. And I'm running up and down the stairs. And finally, my husband, he's on the phone, making calls, telling people to pray, and everything. And at the time, I'm sitting on my couch downstairs just trying to put on stuff. And my husband's upstairs trying to gather our bags and stuff to get on the road and everything. And about maybe 5 minutes later, after I talked to my mom, maybe 5 minutes later, she texted me. And the text was, he's gone. And when I got that text, I screamed I screamed so hard. I don't even know where the scream came from, but it was so deep. It was so deep. It was so hard. I screamed to the core. My insides, just everything that I had within me just screamed so hard. And I just screamed, no. But no. Just so hard. I couldn't repeat that scream if I wanted to because it was so deep. It was so deep. So, after I got the news, I said, I want to see him. I want to see him. Don't let him go to the funeral home yet. I want to see him, And my sister, not even thinking that my mom and sister already there, and just witnessing all this. And I'm on the road trying to get there. So my sister, she was trying to talk to me and say, just let them come and, pick up the body. And we were asking which funeral home, so we decided on that. And I said, okay, And I was just trying to get out of here. And, I wanted to drive. And believe me, I wanted to drive because I just needed to stay focused on something. And then my husband, he was right behind me because, I just wanted to drive myself. And he was right behind me. And we were driving and we're talking. And I'm so hysterical. I'm just crying. I'm like, God, and I'm like, I know I had this feeling about my dad. I didn't know what it was. I just should have got on the road. How many of you go through shoulda, but didn't? That's what I was experiencing. I should have got on the road. I just should have just said, forget it. I'm getting on the road. I'm going to get to him. I'm going to take him to the doctors and everything. And I went through all that in my mind. And as I'm driving and everything, and I'm just crying. And then, so my husband is still making calls as he's driving. So we got off the phone, and then I just needed that quiet time. And then Pastor Williams called. Pastor Paris Williams, he called me. And I know my husband had told him already. He called, and I tell you, by that time I was on the New Jersey Turnpike. I do have a heavy foot, so I need to be delivered from my right foot. Okay. I was on the New Jersey Turnpike, and I may have been like on exit maybe 3 or something, and I had to get off exit 7A to get to Long Branch. And Pastor Williams, he is a dear friend of my husband and I. He's a very dear friend of ours. He talked to me. He prayed with me. He talked to me. He prayed with me. He talked to me. He prayed with me from the time I got halfway down that turnpike all the way to the funeral home. He would not get off that phone with me. And he just labored with me as I'm just driving and I'm crying and I'm driving. He stayed right there with me the whole time until I got to the funeral home. I wanted to see my dad on the day he died, and I'm thankful that the funeral home let me come in to see him. So instead of going to my mom and sister first, I went straight to the funeral home. And when I got to that funeral home, because I just couldn't believe it, like I had to see him on that day. I didn't care what kind of condition he was in. So I called the funeral home prior to getting there, asking, can I please come and see my dad? And they said, we didn't clean him up. He just got here. I said, I don't care. I want to see him. And they let me come and see him just the way he was. And he was, when I saw my dad on that table wrapped in a sheet, you know, I just cried and cried and cried. You know, I should have been here earlier. Still going through the should haves. And I should have been here earlier, you know. So I cried so much. But then my cry didn't last a real long time at that particular time, because I saw such a bright light on him. My dad had this light beaming on him, so bright, and it looked like he was so much younger than what he was. You know, I mean, 85. You know, you get older, you get, you know, your face start. You know, my dad looked so young. I said, God, I know you have him. God, I know he's in good hands. I'm like, I know you have him, because the way he was he just had something so bright about him. And he was so peaceful. He was so peaceful. So my husband and I were there at the funeral home. Then my cousins came. Sharon and Prophetess Kim, they came to see about me. And my sister came, you know, and I think TJ was there. We're all just looking at him and stuff. He was so peaceful. He was so peaceful. So after we got through that, you know, I went to go check on my mom, and, you know, my mom just, you know, hugging her and crying with her, and just, it was just so much that day. It was just so much that day. So I'm like asking, like, Mom, what happened? Like, what happened? What happened to him? You know, this was so unexpected. And I want to say this. My dad, he always said, Lord, if you take me in my sleep. And God gave him just what he asked for. God took him in his sleep. So I asked my mom, what happened? What happened? And she was like trying to tell me, Shirley, you know, she didn't really know, but she said, like, Saturday night, he asked me to help him do his bills, and he was trying to make my food, and he didn't know how to use the microwave. I said, Dad, know how to use the microwave? I'm like, Mommy, that is one thing that Daddy knows how to do perfectly. He's never asked you to, you know, write out his bills, and he always knew how to use the microwave. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, no one did anything. No one called 911 to see why he was so confused. I'm like, what happened? So then I'm hearing stories from my brother-in-law saying, you know, Pop didn't look good, you know, the other night, this and that. And I think my brother said he didn't look good, and no, it was my nephew and my brother-in-law. He didn't look good. He was kind of, and I'm like, nobody called 911, because, you know, Daddy, he was stubborn, and he was not going to go to the doctors. Like, you just can't grab him and say, come on, Dad, let's go to ER. Well, one time he did, because I called. But, you know, he was just like, at that time, he just didn't want to go anywhere yet, but he was ready for his doctor appointment that was going to be coming up. But I went through, nobody called. Why didn't nobody call? You know, that's not like him. Why didn't anybody call? You know, so I went through that period because I was kind of upset. I was upset because I'm like, everybody knows him. Everybody knows his norm. Why didn't anybody just check him further? Why didn't anybody call 911 just to get him checked out if he got that confused? Like, why didn't anybody call? And my sister, she came over that night, the Saturday night before he passed, you know, checked on him, you know, and I think he was all right with her. I don't know if it was before or after, so I'm just like surmising, but and it's hard to remember so much way back from when, but I believe that my sister did go and check on him and kissed him goodnight. And then my mom, you know, after he had that level of confusion about using the microwave, and asking her to help with the bills, he took his blood pressure medicine. And my mom said she asked him an hour later, Joseph, how do you feel? And he said, I feel fine, with a really strong voice. I feel fine. So my mom didn't really think any more of that once she, knew that he felt fine. But there was something brewing in his body that just took him out. But and it just was his time to go. So my mom, she didn't think more of it, but it was still hard for me. Even days passing, many days, even probably like months passing. Like, why didn't nobody call? I'm like, if I was there, I would have called. But Shirley, how do you really know that? Like, I had to get through all that. I had to sort stuff out, and thank God for God just helping me to sort things out, because I know that we go through stuff that we should have done but did not do, and you can have guilt feelings. You can have um, just feeling like you should have been there. And I said, I cannot be upset, about anybody not calling 911. I said, because I wasn't there either. I wasn't there, and plus I was feeling my dad's death 3 days prior. Now I know that what that feeling was. I was feeling him leaving me. I was feeling him leaving me, and I did not get up and get on that road. But had I got up and got on that road, I would have been there prior to his death. And I'm saying that I would have called 911 because I do things like that. But how do I really know? How do I really know I would have called 911? I would not have known unless I was in that situation there at that time. So God helped me with that. He helped me to get over that. Because I really don't know what I would have done. You could say it, but do you really know that you would have done that? I didn't know. So God helped me with that, and He helped me to just give me a peace about that. Me not being there, and no one calling 911 to see why he's going through this level of confusion. So God helped me, and He gave me peace about that. So I know that there are some that go through that, because even though I know that other people's parents have passed, and some do go through guilt. I should have did more. Why didn't I do this? Like, I saw the signs, but I still didn't do nothing. But you know what? We can't do that because God knew, and He will really help you and give you a sense of peace, over that. He will. Just ask Him, and He will help you, and He will give you more clarity and just peace over that, because we can't beat ourselves up, and we definitely can't hold those feelings in and suffer in silence, because it will cause you to become really unhealthy, and it will cause you to fall into a depression. It can even cause you to fall into addiction. It can cause you to just isolate yourself. So don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. And if you're struggling with stuff like that, get it out. Talk about it. Get it out. I'm so thankful, because we're going to be having some grieving counselors come on, and they're going to help us all through this. But I thank God that God helped me through that part of it. I'm so glad. So after that, I was thinking that I should have gotten on the road, but I didn't. And then I was trying to rehearse with my mom. I was still asking her, well, Mom, what happened? How was he? Like, what did he do? And she told me all that. But because I still wasn't there, I wanted to see it myself. And I said, God, I want to see how he was. I know what people are telling me, but I want to see it. I want to see it. Do you know, my God is so amazing. And if you delight yourself in the Lord, He will give you the desires of your heart. God gave me the desires of my heart. God gave me a dream. God gave me a dream of just how my dad was that Saturday. When everybody saw him and talked about how he was, God gave me a dream how my dad was, how he was acting, what he did, stuff that he said that my mom didn't even tell me what he said. He gave me that dream. Yeah. He showed me everything in a dream. Stuff that mommy and my sister, my brother-in-law didn't even tell me. God showed me in a dream. And when I had that dream, I told my mom, I said, Mom, this was my dream. And I told her. And Mommy said, Shirley, that's just how it happened. Yeah, that's from the Lord. She said, that's just how it happened. I said, thank you, God, for giving me that dream. And when he gave me that dream, a level of peace already started happening with him transitioning. And everybody know, like, from past videos, I love feeding my senior babies. I will always bring them food and treats when I come over. I will always bring them something. And I said, oh God, I said, I didn't even get a chance to bring my dad. I mean, I wanted to spend Wednesday with him because I was going to come on that Wednesday. I said I didn't even get the chance to have my daddy-daughter day with him and go spend some time with him and treat him and feed him, bring him goodies and stuff. God gave me another dream. He gave me another dream. And that other dream was me feeding him. That's all I was doing, was feeding my dad. Whew. I said I wasn't going to cry in this video, but man, I'm just so blessed. I'm just so grateful to God. Because he will give you the desires of your heart. And I just thank him because he gave me everything I asked for. He gave me the dreams. I didn't know how he was going to give them to me. I just said, I want to see, because I wasn't there. But he gave me the dreams. And that was another level of peace that came when he gave me those dreams. So I'm so thankful. And I knew it was just time for my dad to go. It was just time. He was 85 years old. He was one of the cutest 85 years old I've ever met in my life. And it was just his time to go. And I'm so grateful because God really helped me to get over the fact that I wasn't there. And he probably protected me, because how would I react? How would I react seeing my dad in his bed and then them coming to get him in a body bag? I said, God, I see now. I probably could not have handled that. And my sister was there. My sister handled it. I know it was very hard for her. But she was probably the better one that should have been there than me. Truthfully. Because I probably could not have handled them taking my dad out and knowing me, I would have been trying to shake him and wake him up. I'm just being so honest and transparent about how I probably would have done. So I didn't need to be there. And I see how God protected me from being there. So I probably should have stayed home and not seen him pass in that bed, because I don't know if I could have handled it, truthfully. But I do want to say that when you really get a deep feeling about someone, and let me say this before I say that, I did speak to my dad, I believe it was Saturday morning, and he seemed fine. He did seem fine. He was on FaceTime. And I said something. I said, he's stubborn. Something. I probably was talking about the doctor then, about him going to the doctors. But he seemed fine. He answered me and everything. But it was real. God gave me what I needed to see. And um, he he looked out for me. Although I wanted to be there, he looked out for me. I'm going to go to my next segment of this.